much for reminding us that while extraordinary people like Edward Snowden, like the whistleblowers that we have with us here today, can provide us with the information about government abuses, it really is up to us for anything to make sure that something is done in response to that information, because there hasn't been reform, and I think that's important to remember. The NSA program it continues, and there hasn't been significant reform for all of the bills that are pending in Congress, for all of the committees that have been formed and the panels that have been formed that have given recommendations. Very little has changed. And so that debate, it's really up to us to keep that debate going and to make sure that change does happen. I want to make sure, I know that we got started late, so I'm not sure if one of the organizers can let me know. Do we have time to take questions from the audience? Are we set up to do that? I'd love to open it up. I know that folks probably have some really interesting conversations for the panelists, so I want to make sure that you have time. Fantastic. So about 10 or 15 more minutes for questions. Does anybody have a question for our panelists here today? I know that, don't be shy, I know you folks there's folks among this group rarely are, so I'm really looking forward to hearing your questions. We've got a number of
My question is, when y'all moving to New Hampshire?
Is actually from New Hampshire originally, I believe. Is that right?
So first, since I have this opportunity, I just want to say thank you for all you've done. I think you're incredibly brave. You were brave when you were brave when you engaged in your whistleblowing activities, and continue to be brave now in your defense and what you're doing. My question is, what do you think we should be doing? I mean, I know marching out in the streets, but I've been there, done that. I really want to do something that's going to change things.
A number of different things. First of all, play to your strength, whatever that is. If you're a great writer, write letters to the editor calling out all the bullshit in the media articles every day from the mainstream media. If you're an artist, do artwork on this. If you're a lawyer, volunteer pro bono on this. Everyone, I know you guys aren't into the government, I get that, but still, you all have Congress people. It matters. Call them. They have to keep track of it each day. Call your Congress, your senators, 2 senators, and House of Representatives, and tell them you support the USA Freedom Act, and you don't want that Dianne Feinstein piece of crap act that she has. It does matter. Hopefully other people that you're more in tune with, like Rand Paul, who had amazing stuff in this area, or even Justin Amash, who had done something to defund the entire parks, where your money was being used for that. I mean, do pay attention to Congress, because for better or for worse, it's what we have right now. In your personal lives, depending on what you're doing, use encryption or teach yourself. Have crypto parties, learn to use encryption. I don't know how many cypherpunks we have in here, but I know it's the anarchists and the feminists and the cypherpunks and people who are all of the above. Libertarians, but there are so many different things, big and small, that you can do. Trevor can get into specifics on encryption, but meanwhile, be vocal. Please don't be complacent. That has been the biggest problem. We had a Restore the Fourth rally that brought out, some maybe 3,000 or 4,000 people. That should be 300,000 or 400,000 people, or even 1 million people. Go to rallies. You don't have to march in the street every day, but when there is a rally, I know you have to hold your nose, but hold your nose and come inside the Beltway. You can stay at my place. I don't know. Well, I mean,
You'll live to regret that one.
I have a lot of kids, so you guys will probably just blend right in. They're a pretty wild bunch. And they're not shrinking violence about anything. So be active. So many people are still complacent and happy to watch a few other people take the lead, take the hits, when really you can be there right alongside them doing that in whatever way you feel you can most contribute. If you have spare money, contribute it. If you have good writing skills, write those letters. Everyone can pick up the phone and call Congress. It will take about 5 minutes of your life to do that.
Yeah, I would just second that.
Actually, Tim, you're mic'd, so give it back to Devin.
So I would second that call to call your congressman. I mean, another consequence of Edward Snowden was that, just a year ago, Congress was trying to reauthorize the Patriot Act and FISA Amendments Act. Nobody would vote against it. I mean, there was a handful of congressmen and senators who did. Everyone ignored all the groups that were trying to raise alarm about this. Now everybody has split in Congress. They've seen the polls. They all realize this is an election issue. And so half of Congress has switched positions and now they're against the NSA and the other half are on the brink. And so if you can send them over the edge by calling their office, that would be wonderful. The second thing you can do is use technology. No matter what law passes, we won't fix all the problems, and so we need to use technology to help fix the rest, and that's encryption. So you can use Tor, you can use PGP email, you can use OTR chat. If you don't know what any of these acronyms are, Google them. You can also go to our website, pressfreedomfoundation.org. We have a detailed paper you can read that's written in everyday language. It's called Encryption Works, and it tries to walk you through step by step how to set these products up, and so you can teach your friends how to use them too. And so those are the two things that I would recommend.
I am